everyone, it's Jordan Robertson with Benzinga, and joining me today is Denis Phares, CEO of Dragonfly Energy. How are you today?
Doing great. How are you, Jordan?
Doing wonderful myself. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Denis, can you tell us who is Dragonfly Energy?
Absolutely. Dragonfly Energy is a comprehensive lithium-ion battery technology company. And what I mean by comprehensive is we work on everything from the fundamental cell chemistry to the production of the cells to the assembly of the battery packs from the cells, and then the designing and sales of the storage systems to end markets, including direct to retail consumers through distribution and to original equipment manufacturers. So we try to encompass the entire chain from the cell manufacturing to delivering the storage systems, and that makes us pretty unique in the industry.
And can you tell us about creating a vertically integrated industry in Nevada? How close is this to fruition?
So this has to do with the elements that go into making a lithium battery cell. So we have a lot of lithium in the state, and this gives us an opportunity, especially in Nevada, to vertically integrate from going from assembling battery packs to gaining access to some of these raw materials like lithium and assembling them into and manufacturing cells out of these raw materials. Once we have the cells, we assemble the packs and then we sell them out to the market. And then ultimately we can close the loop. We call it closing the lithium loop through recycling and getting the lithium back out of those spent packs and then starting over again with making cells.
Wonderful. And what is Dragonfly Energy's role in what's been referred to as the Lithium Loop in Nevada?
So we do have a role in the lithium loop because we are taking the raw materials, producing cells, and then assembling packs from those cells. So the lithium loop refers to the fact that there's a lot of lithium in the ground in Nevada, and traditionally, the lithium is mined globally, but we don't have that much mining in the United States yet. In fact, there's only one active lithium mine in the United States. That's here in Nevada. But we're growing that infrastructure through companies like Lithium Americas and Ioneer, and we're extracting the lithium. Then we produce cathode active material from the lithium, and then we manufacture the cells, which means producing electrodes from that cathode active material and from anodes. And that's what we do. So we actually take the raw materials, produce the cells, and assemble them into packs. So we have a role in that lithium loop, but ultimately, as I mentioned, closing the loop involves companies like Aqua Metals or Redwood Materials that are actually extracting those raw materials back out of the spent cells to produce new cells.
And exciting news as you announced the completion of your lithium battery cell pilot line and that you just began producing anodes at scale. Will you talk about what this milestone means and how it differs from a traditional battery manufacturing process?
That milestone is huge for us because it represents taking what we've developed in the lab, growing it to the prototype phase, and then actually demonstrating that it can work at scale. And by anode, what we mean is that we've been able to produce anode films, and we've been working with graphite anodes, the most common anode material in a lithium-ion battery. And we basically put anode graphite particles on a piece of copper foil, and at scale means that we can do very large areas of this deposition, so much that we can produce up to about 150 megawatt hours a year out of that anode at the rate that we've done it. And that's a big milestone for us. Taking anything at the lab scale and scaling it up to mass production is a very big deal. So the opportunity for us to allow the patents that we've developed and the new technology to come to fruition and actually add to future revenues is critical in terms of growing the company into where it should be.
Absolutely. And dry electrode processing technology has been in the news more and more. What makes your process unique and more effective than the competition?
That is what we do that is unique. Dry electrode processing refers to eliminating the solvent from the slurry coating step. So in a traditional manufacturing process for lithium-ion electrodes, you take the anode material or the cathode material, you mix it with a binder, a polymer, and then you dissolve that binder in a solvent. And then you slurry cast that onto the copper or the aluminum foil. And then you have to evaporate that solvent, which is toxic and expensive. So it needs to be reclaimed. So to be able to eliminate that solvent by depositing all of the anode and cathode dry is a very big deal. And I know it's been in the news lately, primarily because there are other companies that have been trying to eliminate the solvent, most notably Maxwell, which was acquired by Tesla. So they have a dry extrusion process where they make freestanding electrode films and then laminate them onto the foil. More recently, Volkswagen announced that they had been working on dry electrode processing. So it's in the news because of the fact that the solvent is a pain point in the process. And we've been very successful at eliminating that solvent in a way that allows now for scalable mass production.
So I'm curious, is this process better for the environment as well?
It is better for the environment for a number of reasons. First of all, when you don't have to evaporate that solvent from the film, then it's less energy intensive. So you're saving in terms of energy. It's less space intensive because you don't need these large conveyor drying ovens. But also you're eliminating that toxic solvent. So that solvent itself is it's one of those forever chemicals. There is a strong push to try to eliminate it from manufacturing processes, and the fact that you don't have to reclaim it also saves in energy. So it's definitely a more environmentally friendly production process.
And Dennis, you've noted your process is chemistry agnostic. What does that mean, and what opportunities does that present?
Chemistry agnostic means that we can produce cells that have all different kinds of anodes or cathodes. We're not stuck with just one, like lithium iron phosphate and graphite. We've been playing with lithium iron phosphate and NMC and LCO. We've even been considering things like sodium ion batteries. You don't have to have a lithium ion battery. The process is focused on making conductive powder films, which has applications to all kinds of storage devices. So the fact that it's chemistry agnostic is significant because it allows us a much wider set of markets to play in.
Wonderful. And you also recently announced that you're a founding member of the Nevada Battery Coalition. Tell us about the group and why it's significant.
The Nevada Battery Coalition is significant because it allows us to work together as an industry, particularly in the state, to establish that lithium loop. We're working with companies like Aqua Metals, for example. They're the recycling partner. Ioneer, they're a mining partner. Other cell manufacturers like Panasonic. We get together, share ideas, work with our local politicians, and do what we need to do to grow this business, grow this infrastructure, grow this industry as fast as we can, because it is going to be critical to our energy future.
Absolutely. And hot take, how important is it from a geopolitical perspective to secure a domestic lithium industry? Do you see any incentives coming from the government to move us away from a mining and refining industry reliant on China?
Well, that was the purpose of the IRA. So there are definitely incentives to mine and produce and recycle here in the United States. And ultimately, what we all seek is energy independence. You don't want to be reliant on other countries for your energy needs. I mean, it's such a fundamental need in our society. And so batteries play a very important role in this. As we start to move into a more renewable energy infrastructure, especially with the grid, you need storage to buffer the intermittency that's associated with solar and wind. So batteries are a large part of it. And to be able to do that domestically and not rely on any other country for any part of the process is a matter of national security because of how fundamental our energy needs are.
Amazing. Well, that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much, Jordan.